So, I haven't done one of these in a while. I've been away for quite a while on YouTube, and I know I'm long overdue for a demo discs. I have the video recorded. I just haven't had the motivation to edit it yet. And hopefully after this video I will find that motivation, because I've just been taking such a long break from YouTube and just focusing on my live streams that I couldn't I just haven't really felt like going in and editing it and trying to make a more proper video rather than just a some kind of extended presentation. Um, so this is a bit random. We're going to be talking about Paper Mario. We're going to be talking about what it means to me, and we're going to be talking a bit about the history of what I've had with these games. So to me, Paper Mario has always been a game about uh, story, an unexpected story it's something you don't normally see. It differentiates itself from the normal Mario games in a sense that it's not just Bowser rescuing Peach, but in the first game it was, but it was different. It felt way different than just Bowser kidnapping Peach, and it's kind of become bland in the newer titles where they rehash that idea and it just doesn't turn out as good. Um, so Paper Mario to me is good story and good characters, fun RPG mechanics, and a very fun to explore area, um, just across the board. Uh, at least consistently. Okay. You can tell I don't have a script. I don't have a paper dangling in front of me. I'm not reading off anything. I don't have a script. I feel much more comfortable talking like this, with just naturally without reading off a script, because there's less pressure to go back and correct the mistakes I make through the editing, and there's less pressure to um, mess up on the words that I'm reading off of. And because yes, for me that does exist. That does exist in my world, in my head. So yeah, so we're just talking from the head and from the heart, as cheesy as that sounds. We're just going to be normally talking about it. And so anyway, going forth, so Paper Mario has always been that kind of game for me. Just a game where it's really fun, and you could play it for 5 minutes, and it feels like 5 minutes, and it's like boom, it's already been an hour, and the game's just so much fun. It just goes by real quickly because of how fun it is. At least for me. Um, I remember playing, as I mentioned in my stream, and I think my Let's Play too. My Let's Play that I didn't finish, or no, that was the old one. The newer one I did manage to actually finish. I've mentioned a few times how when I was younger, I went to a friend's house. He had an N64, and one of his games was Paper Mario, and I couldn't get past chapter 2 because I didn't read the text. It just explored to my heart's desire, and I just couldn't figure out what the hell I was supposed to do. And this happened a few times until I was much older, and I had more knowledge. I was knowledgeable enough to know what I'm supposed to do, and I had I had my Wii with me. I got Paper Mario 64, or my brother did. My brother got Paper Mario 64 off the Virtual Console on the Wii, and I played through that, and I actually knew what I was supposed to do because I was taking the time. I was reading what the people were saying. I was reading the hints the one guy said, and found out what I was, supposed to do just from that. So that's good. And from there, I was actually able to get through the game almost no problems. Of course, there were hiccups in the road where bosses might have been a bit too difficult for me at the time, and or maybe when I get to the flower garden area. I already forget the name. The garden area, one of the later chapters, and kind of getting lost a bit, and not knowing what to do in that either. But eventually, kind of going back and forth, and then knowing what you're supposed to do when you eventually walk to an area where you're supposed to be at that moment, and you just keep going, and it just feels good when you make just some kind of discovery like that. It's like, oh, okay, oh, here I'm supposed to go. Okay, let's keep going. Let's continue on with the game. So there's that. And then years later, when I discovered YouTube, not years after YouTube, but like years later from that point, when YouTube is is a couple years in, not just starting out, because there were like no let's plays back then, but a couple years in from there, I looked up. I think I was randomly recommended this Super Paper Mario video, and if you heard of. Super Paper Mario had its own problems. It kind of divided the Paper Mario community in half, where this half says it's bad because it took away almost everything we knew about Paper Mario, while the other half says it's good because it left in these elements with creative story, fun to explore areas, and just fun overall gameplay, even if it wasn't an RPG. It's funny though that it was such a weird hybrid RPG / platform, if you think about it. Enemies have health bars. Your jumps do a certain amount of damage. You can use items you have a health bar yourself. You can heal yourself. There's several different items you can use. There's even a collectible card system, which of course is not new to the platformers at all. You got New Super Mario Bros. DS that had 3 stars. So yeah, it's just weird. And hell, even there was even a trap card you could use to capture enemies, and I think bigger enemies would only get captured if they have lower amount of health. It's been a few years since I played through Super Paper Mario. Hopefully we will get through that and that Paper Mario Thousand Year Door soon, because those are very much 2 games I would like to get through, especially Thousand Year Door. Going back, I randomly remember YouTube recommending me, or either that or I looked it up. I don't remember which exactly. But anyway, I saw a couple Super Paper Mario videos, and I'm watching these, and I'm like, oh man, those look those look fun to play. I want to play through those, and it sadly wouldn't be years until I would borrow the game from a friend while I had my Wii with me, and actually was able to play through the game. Sorry, I'm a bit sick. So it was that, and it was so much fun. It was I just wanted to play through it all in session, but of course there were times where I wanted to take a break, or I'd have to go to bed, or I have to go eat or something, and it was a lot of fun for me. So to me, Super Paper Mario does define what makes a Paper Mario game good. Not completely great, but good. The story was, again, very creative, and the gameplay, it was just fun, even though it was not an RPG. It was a very, very, very well done side game, Paper Mario game, if that makes any sense. I know I might be saying things that might contradict each other. I know I've had that problem in the past, and I probably still do. So yeah, just try to understand what I'm trying to say. So moving on from that, this was about the time where Sticker Star was about to come out, or Sticker Star might have already been out. I don't entirely remember. It's hard to remember. For me, it's hard to remember the order of events for every bit and piece I want to try to string together into one story. It's hard to know the order specifically, but I'm sure that's the way for most people. So we just have to take what we remember and just kind of put it on the line here, when we're trying to tell our story of a specific subject. If we only had various encounters with. So yeah. So anyway, moving on from Super Paper Mario, and I believe this was the time where Sticker Star released. My friend Table Flipper, I went over to his house one day, and he actually has a copy, lucky son of a bitch, he has a copy of Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, and that's a very sought after game for GameCube collectors, or just people who still have a GameCube or even a Wii, or even just Paper Mario fans in general. That game is just so fun, and it's kind of rare to come by because, well, think about it. We've had Paper Mario 64 re-release on the Wii U, the Wii, and the Wii U Virtual Console, and there has yet to be a GameCube Virtual Console. Nintendo Switch, please have a GameCube Virtual Console. You're lacking a Wii backwards compatibility. You're lacking Wii U backwards compatibility. So what you could do is just add a GameCube Virtual Console. It's so simple. Just do it, and you'll have all the money. It's that simple. It's that fucking simple. Even if it's not that easy to emulate, somehow not easy to emulate GameCube on Switch, do it. Nintendo, you need to find a way to do it, because you'll make so much money from reselling Thousand-Year Door, Mario Kart Double Dash, Super Mario Sunshine, the original Wind Waker. You'll make so much fucking money from that. It's not even funny. So again, there's no easy way to access Paper Mario: Thousand-Year Door, so that's why it's such a gem. But anyway, so I take it home, I start playing it, and I kind of have a busted up GameCube controller, like the R button's not working, or was it the L? It was either the R or the L button. The button that makes it hard to do the abilities for, when you do those paper abilities, like when you change to a paper airplane. I don't know, it's kind of hard to, push it down in the right way and all that shit. Oh no! Wait, no. That button was working. I think it was the other button that wasn't working. And anyway, I can't carry it away. So I remember playing through it, and I just had a blast. Hell, even the Shadow Queen boss, who felt like she was harder than Bowser, but easier at the same time. Probably because she didn't have those annoying moves that causes your charges to debuff. Like a debuffing attack. And doesn't have an attack to heal herself. Well, I think she did, but it wasn't as overpowered as Bowser's Star Rod, which is like probably for me the one glaring flaw about Paper Mario 64 is that the Bowser fight is so random. You can either have a good time with it, or it could either be the biggest fucking pain in the ass you can have due to Bowser constantly spamming healing or debuffs. It could be one of the two. It's up in the air for whether this boss is easy or not. But anyway, the Shadow Queen at the end wasn't that difficult for me, at least. And when I got through it, I just wish I would have spent more time, exploring more all the areas, back and forth, getting everything. Possibly, perhaps, maybe spending more time on the mini games, maybe near the end doing the 100 dungeon trial, maybe trying to beat that before I go straight to the final boss. Because if I would have known, I should have known that was the last traditional Paper Mario game, and I wish I would have just savored it when I had the chance. But now we're getting to the kind of meat and potatoes of where things go downhill. You see, I went to Microplay one day. I had money on me. I went to Microplay one day. I saw that they had Paper Mario Sticker Star on for $25. It was a used copy. It was much cheaper than buying the new version. The new version. I mean, new. Non-used, okay, non-used. Jeez, before I fucking stay struggling on my words for like the next hour. Non-used, new. So I bought it, and I was completely oblivious. I think I saw a few trailers, but they didn't really show that much in terms of the gameplay. So I was completely oblivious to what was going on with the new Paper Mario games. I didn't know what the sudden changes were and how its Sticker Star got ridiculed. It did not get ridiculed initially, I believe, but as time went on, people started to see the cracks and more people were discovering what it was, and of course that led to more videos to how Sticker Star is a piece of shit. And I agree, Sticker Star is a piece of shit. It's so fucking it's not a piece, it's not okay, it's not a piece of shit. Let me contradict myself. It's not a piece of shit, but it's so fucking boring. Like you can play through it, but I have no fun playing through it. And that's like the crucial factor when it comes to Paper Mario games. When I play through a Paper Mario game, I expect it to have a lot of fun. But here it just doesn't happen because of the many problems with the gameplay, including the battles not having rewards, the levels being very linear and designed like a normal 2D Mario game for some fucking reason. Or not the levels, but I mean the worlds. You got desert, you got forest, you got snow, you got a few other worlds. And to this day, I have not beaten it because of that reason. It's just not fun to play. And I've tried a few times to, replay it from the beginning, and it's still not fun. Hell, I even tried playing it with a walkthrough. Going through a walkthrough, so I can easily get bypass any of the bullshit puzzles that are just you can't figure out because you know what you need, but you don't know where to get it, or you don't know if you're missing something in that immediate area to get to that item. It's just so puzzling when you get to parts like that. And even with a walkthrough, I still couldn't do it. Because the game was so fucking boring that I just couldn't play through it. And I just left it. I've just left it in my closet for years and years. And I tried to pick it up again before the release of Color Splash, and I still couldn't play through it. It was so boring. I just couldn't stand it anymore. So, announcement comes from a new Paper Mario game. What is it? Color Splash. We've heard, I believe there were a few leaks. I believe the title was leaked, from what I remember, but we have not seen gameplay of it yet. And Andre from GameXplain had the same feelings that I did, the exact same feelings when we saw the trailer. The second we saw that overworld, we were having Sticker Star flashbacks, and we thought the game would be awful. But something actually happened. Color Splash turned out to be quite good, believe it or not. For me it is. Other people just say it's okay, but I actually think it's pretty good. It's close to okay. It would have been close to okay if it wasn't for a few elements here and there that I really enjoyed. Me personally, really enjoyed. The story was still not that great, but a very much step up to what Sticker Star had. It actually had more cutscenes in between chapters, which was a godsend compared to Sticker Star, which just kind of kept going along without any break in to tell you a story or to catch you up or to fill you in on something. So yeah, but there were actual cutscenes in between, giving you kind of flashbacks to Bowser kind of taking over this Paint Kingdom. I can't remember what the fucking thing is called. Paint Kingdom, whatever it was called. Huey was a big step up for Kirsty, who just felt like such a bummer. Huey was awesome, and if he was, it would have been awesome as a partner. If this was a traditional Paper Mario game where you partners take turns, and I don't have to explain this. If you're watching this video, you should know what the old Paper Mario games were. You should know. So yeah, I actually had a lot of fun with this one, walking around. The biggest problem with it was still the fact that the battle system had almost no reward. I mean, you got paint, you got these hammers that could increase the amount of paint you could hold, but as many people pointed out, you don't really run out of paint in this game. It's almost everywhere. Um, Now maybe if the paint went up like little by little, then you'd have more of a incentive to do battles. But once you get like a decent amount of uh, paint holding upgrades, you know it goes up each, it has levels it goes up to. Once you get up to like a few levels, you don't really need to be battling anymore. It's the same case with Sticker Star, where it becomes pretty much pointless. In Sticker Star, you just get coins. You get coins to buy stickers, to do battles, to get more coins, to get more stickers, to do battles, to get more coins, and it was just a never-ending cycle. While here, you want to get paint and cards, but the paint does have a secondary function, with also the cards, occasionally doing stuff in the overworld, mostly just the things. The paint would, there were a lot of white spots in the world, and the paint would, you could use the paint to color in these spots. Hell, it actually felt fun doing that. It was a nice little side quest I did to 100% the game. I didn't 100% the game. I didn't completely complete the game, but I did complete that aspect of pain, the game, which I felt it would be the hardest aspect, which coloring, finding all the color splats, and painting them in. And that was a lot of fun, seeing the entire world completely colored up, seeing that 100% mark, and the game being like, "Yay, you did it! You colored everything in." That, to me, that was fun. I know that everyone's not going to feel the same way about it. Some people are going to say, "Oh, that's a stupid side quest." I personally thought it was enjoyable and a decent enough distraction from just walking through the areas of the game. So yeah. And that I think that brings us about up to speed. Sorry, you can hear my stepdad yelling in the background. He's watching wrestling. So that brings us about up to speed with. I'm sorry. So that brings us about up to speed where we are, and to tell you to be completely honest, Arlo's most recent video on Paper Mario about whether it might change or not actually inspired me to make this video. So I'll leave. Thank you, Arlo. I'll leave a link to his video below. You should check it out. Definitely check it out. But that does bring us up to speed to where we are now. Paper Mario for Switch is definitely coming. Hell, it could be coming for E3. If fucking Smash Bros. Could be announced in a Direct a year after the Switch comes out, in a fucking Direct, out of all things, then I think that seeing a Paper Mario game in E3 about almost 2 years after release of its last game, it's a very much possibility. Although if they announced a port of Color Splash for the Switch, it's gonna fucking bomb hard. It's gonna bomb so fucking hard. So here's what I can expect. I don't expect an announcement this year, but if they do, here's what I think. We're either gonna get another Paper Mario game where it just builds up what Color Splash made, and maybe I think more people are not going to buy it just on the fact that Nintendo doesn't want to listen to their fans. In fact, if the next Paper Mario game is like Color Splash, I encourage people to boycott it, because if they're not going to listen, here's the thing everyone will tell you. Your money does the talking when it comes to the gaming industry. That is very true. Where you put your money is their decisions are based off how much money they make. Your money makes the decisions on the gaming industry. So if you don't buy something, they won't continue. You remember the overwhelming amount of backlash from Star Wars Battlefront 2 from EA, and they had to remove loot boxes. Remember that? Well, that's what can happen if we stand up, if we stay together and say, no, we don't want this. We want this. This is how we want things to be done. You can still make money, a lot of money off this, but what you're doing right now is wrong, bad, and hurts the industry. Well, that's not nearly the case with Nintendo. Nintendo is really good when it comes to consumerism for the most part, at least that's how I feel. But if we stand up and say no, we're not going to buy this new Paper Mario game because it's not the one we want, they could very well change it. They could very well change their mind on things and be like, okay, whatever, let's just make the Paper Mario game they want so we can actually make money off this IP, so we don't have to completely throw it away. You know what I mean? So it's very possible, we make a decision that way, and that's how we can fix the Paper Mario games. But that's only if the new Paper Mario game is like that. I think it's also very reasonable to say that they might remake Paper Mario 64 Thousand Year Door. Hopefully both. I would very much like to see a 64 remake over Thousand Year Door. I would really want to see both. Don't get me wrong. Both games, Mario 64 and Thousand Year Door for me are almost a dead tie, and I would love to see both games, but I would like to see a Mario 64 remake slightly more, just because there's a lot they could fix. Hell, they could imagine Paper Mario 64 been given the elements of what was in a Thousand Year Door. Well, I don't think they'll go that far, but like characters actually having HP bars, being able to switch to your character, having a defense option. Being able to switch to your characters so that they take hits more likely than you. If you need to take a few turns to heal up, then you can switch to your partners, and they're more likely to get hit than you are. So yeah, it's very reasonable to say that a remake of one of the first two, or even both, is very much on the horizon. And we might see it this E3, but that is unlikely. If it is not, if they change the fucking formula to Mario 64, Paper Mario 64, or Thousand Year Door to what it is now, making it a much simpler version of itself, it's dead. Paper Mario is dead to me, and I don't think I'll ever buy another one. If the new Paper Mario game is built off the foundation of Color Splash, then I say we boycott it. Not completely abandon Paper Mario, but boycott it. So, that's it. That's all I had to say. Wow, this turned into almost a 30-minute rant about Paper Mario. So, yeah, see ya. Sorry if I decide not to... Ooh, I probably should have gameplay, because I just realized I might be recording my Discord chat. Oh, well. We'll see what happens. Alright, so if there's no gameplay, if I decide on not putting gameplay, sorry. This is mostly just an audio commentary. You'll probably be doing something else. Like with any other YouTuber who does these, you'll probably be watching or doing something else while you're listening, and so, whatever. Alright, that's it, and see ya.